Hello, here today to do a reading for a new client named Nikki. Hi, Nikki. How are you? Hope you're well. And I found out that you are a Leo, so I picked your significator already. Your significator is for this reading going to be the Queen of Wands, which I use usually to represent usually any female person over the age of really 18 is my system. Anyone over the age of 18 who is a fire sign and female, I tend to use the Queen of Wands. So anywho, um, she's going to anchor the reading for us today, and Nikki's ordered a Celtic cross, so we're going to do just a general reading for you today, Nikki. And I've already shuffled the deck, of course using my Tot deck. And let's see what we get. Already we can see that the bottom card we have is the Seven of Wands. So something, whatever this situation is about, it has to do with something that is causing you quite a bit of stress. It's something that is requiring a lot of struggle on your part. You've hmm, possibly with a one man in particular over something to do with your financial situation is what I'm vaguely getting. But let's see what we have in terms of the actual cards. So let's see if I can point this on down here. Okay, covering you is the Two of Cups, which is love. So there's at this time in your life, you're feeling a very strong connection to someone in particular. You're developing a relationship with someone. You're broadening your connection with someone. It's a very pure connection, and it does of course um, probably mean a very loving, a more intimate relationship than we might say otherwise. Crossing you, your problem, or the thing that you're coming up against, is the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is either someone else who, um, well, the Queen of Cups. I'll tell you a little bit about her. The Queen of Cups is a person who, usually an older female figure, who is very sensitive and um, very kind, generally, very warm, and very sociable, sort of on the superficial side, and a little impenetrable in terms of um, kind of figuring out what she is all about. She's a little mysterious. And so either you're, perhaps, I almost get the sense that you're having a hard time expressing your feelings, but let's continue to lay on out. So crowning you is the Sun, and grounding you is the Nine of Wands. Um, okay, this is good. In your past is the Eight of Discs, and in your future is adjustment. Now let's just finish playing them all out here. There, sort of good. Okay. Um, so already laying out the other cards, there are a lot of swords going on here, more than I had thought. From would be in the reading from the beginning. But anywho, I see that yeah, you are under a tremendous amount of pressure in a way. You this is something that you have worked very hard at for a very long time. And I feel like this is something that you've gotten used to being fairly conservative about. You this is in some ways about an investment, and it isn't necessarily the kind of investment that is material. I almost sense that it's more of an investment in terms of your relationship with someone, um, which could in fact, of course, have to do with sharing resources. I mean, we did talk about that at the beginning here. Um, Okay. Uh, I would say that you generally get the sense that you don't feel like you're ever going to make it. And whatever the situation is about, I feel like you have sort of a defeatist attitude about it, to be honest. And it's almost like you're 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 letting your feelings get in the way, in a sense, from actually doing anything. You're uh, keeping yourself very uh, contained here, and I think that that's not necessarily the right direction for you. Um, there. The thing is, you. I feel like you're. I almost want to say bearing a lot of it yourself. Um, but that might not be quite accurate either. I sort of jumping all over the place here. I will say also that the general advice for you in this, which I hope makes sense, is to um, I kind of want to say to be courageous about it and to not be ashamed about whatever it is you're feeling, and and to have a little more confidence in yourself. I think you need to believe in yourself a little bit more with whatever this is, and possibly what it also is you might be afraid of hurting someone that is that you care about quite a bit. I'm confused about the Queen of Cups, frankly, and I'm unsure if that represents you or someone else. Um, I kind of get the sense that it represents you more than it does represent someone else. By all means, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I get the sense that you have this part of you that's very passive and is preventing you in its timidity. It's preventing you from acting in a way, and in some ways, I get the sense that the longer you stall yourself about this, telling yourself that, it isn't going to work out if you um, take the action that is required of you, um, that you feel inclined to make, it's only going to keep going and going and going, and it's never going to resolve. And I think you need a resolution. I think a resolution to some extent is coming your way anyway, whether you like it or not. um, you have adjustment in your future, and so there's some sort of um, uh, usually a large decision that you have to deal with, some kind of choice that you're going to have to be presented with, um, or just in general, I feel like I don't really think that it's you who's going to have the choice. I think it's more a decision being made without necessarily your input. And I get that only because you seem um, kind of closed off and not in a position to express yourself, whatever that means. Uh, just yeah, I'm just looking around here. Uh, you've got some interesting planets too, actually. You've got two solar cards, you have two lunar cards, and you have two Venus cards, and all of those are pretty evenly balanced, which is good. Your solar influence is definitely better than your lunar, which is to say um, that these aspects are definitely stronger. Um, your work ethic in the past is definitely a very positive thing, and I feel like you've definitely grown something here. You've definitely raised something, you've grown something, and I feel like the sun itself up here is telling you to be more proud of that in a way, to take better ownership of it, and to be happier with it. Um, because what you're actually doing is just like trudging along, and it seems sort of like a day by day kind of thing. I don't think that this is to say that you're necessarily unhappy, though I do think that it's a bit much for you. You're holding up okay so far, but again, you have so much doubt that I think you don't quite believe that you're going to be able to keep going in this fashion. Um, and then again, we have adjustment coming up for you, which again either means that some sort of decision is finally going to be made about one thing or another. Again, what is being decided upon is a little confusing here. Whether this is something to do with marriage or um, because again, the overall idea of our reading is the Two of Cups, and crossed by the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Cups, as well. Um, okay, your environment card, just to kind of keep things going here, uh, and I'll say things as I think of them, which is usually how I operate. Your environment card, Nikki, is the Princess of Cups. I know you have a very young, an infant. I saw your picture. Um, I don't know if this is representing your child. Uh, I get the sense more that your daughter, um, I think it's a daughter, is represented down here by the Princess of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Um, yeah, there. I just want to. I'm curious if your husband is the Prince of Cups, or your significant other, your partner, whatever kind of relationship you're in, if they're sort of well, Prince of Cups. Prince of Cups is pretty distant sometimes, a little difficult to read. Sort of like the Queen of Cups in a way, but more dangerous, more cunning, more intellectual than the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is very sensitive and very acts based on feeling, whereas the Prince of Cups is more about uh, acting based on one's emotions. Um, well, that doesn't really make sense now, does it? Not acting. The Prince of Cups is more about, I suppose, intellectualizing your emotions in a way and sort of wrestling with them. A personality that does that. So I don't know if you are with a man who is particularly I guess, contemplative, or someone who is also very sensitive, but doesn't like to let on that they are. I just sense that you, in general, are also a fairly sensitive person. So this is not necessarily a bad thing. Um, but again, I'm curious in what way you feel unable to really. I'm not sure. The Queen of Cups is so ambiguous as a card, for your crossing factor here. I'm not sure what exactly the holdup is. You seem I don't know. Your hopes and fears are represented by the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords tells me that again, like the Seven of Swords, you're stuck in your head, and yet you're afraid of doing that. Maybe this is something that you tend to do. You tend to overthink things possibly, and you're concerned about continuing to do that here. I definitely think that something has to be done eventually. You either have to express how you feel for this person, or or be or not, you know. Those are the choices, and that's I mean, I think that that's kind of what this is saying. I think, you know, that you seem to have feelings for someone, but you just feel unable to express them, and that's just what this is seemingly about. And the advice again is for you to not be so stressed about revealing this to whoever it is that you're concerned about. Um, I just don't think it would be necessarily a bad thing. Um, Princess of Cups, you know, to go back to her, in your environment there is um, a young, probably a young person who is uh, very very similar actually to that Queen of Cups disposition, which is interesting. So I have a feeling the Princess of Cups could be um, your baby. Um, I don't know how recent that picture was, of course, but I assume your son or daughter is probably represented by this card, and I get the sense that they are, just because they take after you, and they take after you in multiple senses, which is interesting. They take after your sensitive side, but they also take after your adventurous side too, I think. Um, and if they're too young for that to be manifest yet to you, I have a feeling that that's how it's going to go. But but yeah, I almost feel like you maybe the love that I am so confused about that you're feeling for someone is actually your son or daughter, and uh, what you are experiencing is a kind of feeling of inability to really either I don't know, an inability to express that love properly, or yeah, I don't know, or to, I should hope not, but to be a good parent, or maybe you're scared of parenting or something like that. And I think it's just saying that you should be happy about it and focus more on the positive aspects of this. Because I do think that there are more positive things than good here. Though the reading comes off as a little dark, uh, especially because your overall outcome, if you continue in this fashion, is the Three of Swords. And you know, unfortunately, I am tempted to see it as connected to adjustment here. That whatever decision you are going to go through, um, under the sway of adjustment, is I don't see it ending in a happy way for you, um, which is unfortunate. I see you as becoming separated from that which you are connected to. Unfortunately, you know, right now you feel this very strong bond with someone. Again, probably the Princess of Cups figure, uh, and I see something coming your way that could possibly separate you from that, and I'm not sure how that could be, but yeah, it's not going in a good direction. For extra cards, you have the Five of Swords and the Two of Wands, and so whatever I almost wonder if this is something like a almost like a custody thing, but I don't know. Um, but I almost get the sense that that could be what this is about. Whatever decision, whatever uh, choice, decision, legal or otherwise, that adjustment represents here is not likely to go in your favor. It will likely uh, be something that you will not be happy about, and will be quite uh, frustrated with, and you'll want to do something about it. Um, I feel like you've you know you've tried so hard to, because I see you putting in so much effort, um, and trying so hard to keep it all together and to make it work. And either right now, it's at the point where it's either just too much for you or not working, or or you doubt yourself too much, and it is hindering your ability to be more effective. Um, and I think, part of, I feel like the sun is so necessary here for you, that confidence, that happiness about the situation, and the sense of pride, um, is needed here, because you need to. I feel like you need to not be quite so passive about it. I feel like you're being a little too passive. Just there, I feel like there's more that you could be doing. Um, I'm just not sure what it is. And it's not necessarily. Uh, I don't mean like more you could be doing, like get another job, or anything like that. I mean, it could be, but I don't think that that's what it is, because I see you as having been up to this point very frugal, and trying to be very practical about the whole thing, and for a long time now. Um, but I don't know. There's one thing left that you're preventing yourself from doing. And again, I really don't know what that is, but it it it, it is connected to um, this judgment that's going to be passed. Um, and I'm not sure in what way, but it's not headed in a positive direction. So I think, the best way again to deal with this is to just try to be positive about this, and try to have um, more faith in yourself and your own ability. Um, yeah, like I just think that you're having all sorts of difficulties with ownership of things in your relationship. I think that's what we're getting at here. Um, and yeah, I wish I could say more to you about this. I wish I could be a little more specific, but it's awfully it's awfully vague in places. Um, I can tell you that you have you have almost no earth, which is interesting. And maybe now is a time where you need to be a little more grounded. You need to be a little more stable. You need to be a little bit more secure with things. Because the eight of discs is in the past. It's not something that is present here in the here and now. And I think it's something that you could benefit from, actually. I think that you need to be a little return to being a little more practical, and a little more grounded, and a little bit more um, focused on, like, seeing it as small increments, little steps at a time, and not necessarily trying to do all of it at once, because obviously that is overwhelming, and will handicap you. Um, you have a lot of lunar stuff. You have that's sort of it, as far as we talked about the solar lunar, we talked about the Venus thing. Um, your lunar stuff is uh, sort of unstable. You have the Nine of Wands, which is good, but it's a very tiring card, and that's in your foundation. So you probably feel very sluggish, in regards to this. You possibly are lacking somewhat in motivation at this point, just because you're so tired. But I think that for the most part, you're finding it within yourself to dig deep enough to keep going. It's a mental thing with you right now. I see you as really um, throwing up roadblocks to yourself mentally right now. And it's going to come around to, I kind of want to say it's going to come around and bite you in the ass, to put it bluntly. And I think that you're you're stronger than that, you know. And as a Leo, particularly, you know, dig into that wellspring of confidence that Leos are known for. That I know you have in yourself somewhere. Um, I don't know. I wish I could. I wish I had you here because I would. I'd like to actually talk to you about this because I'm not sure if what I'm saying is making sense. I hope it is, and yeah, I would love to receive some feedback about this reading. So if you can, um, just feel free to ask questions or correct me where I was wrong because I'm not quite sure, and I think I might be able to help you a little bit better if I knew a little bit more. So so yeah, so that's basically all that the cards have to say necessarily. Again, strongly encourage you to leave me some feedback if you can, and I do hope it helps somewhat. I hope it makes sense. Uh, please let me know if it does not make sense. I'll be happy to do it again for you or do something else for you. Or if you're totally unsatisfied, I will be happy to give you your money back or whatever, as always. So let me know what you think. And thank you very much for your patronage, support, etc.